Yeah, what is going on, everybody? We back with another episode of From My Experience podcast. I'm your host, Rob, back solo DZ on this one. I do have a special guest with me, but as you know, I like to start the show by thanking you, our listeners, for listening and supporting us in the Facebook group and on Instagram. Pardon my voice. I got to get my energy up. I worked out today and I'm tired as hell. I really am tired. Whew, but I feel good. I feel really good. I'm trying to get back to the old me. So, hope y'all are doing well out there. Hope y'all are taking care of yourselves. Now, today's guest is a very special guest. This person is a brother to me on a couple of different levels. In just life as a person, as a best friend, and in fraternity. We met in college and we had similar backgrounds. We were roommates and we've just been best friends ever since, man. This guy has been very inspirational. He served as motivation for me to get a lot of shit done in my life and to get up off my ass. We always have great conversations about life, business, and anything else you can think of. We have some crazy memories, crazy memories from back in the day. And I would not trade any of those times for well, except for that Tiger Bomb thing. But we ain't got to get into all that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a member of the United States military and founder, owner, creative director of the Muscle Over Money urban fitness brand, Mr. Brandon Palmore. Woo!
What's going on, man?
What is going on, LB? Y'all are going to hear me call him LB. He is my line brother. We actually pledged Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated together in 2005, the greatest organization in the world. So if y'all hear me saying LB, that's what that stands for. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Over here trying to maintain as usual.
Yes. Maintain is definitely the word. I was just about to say something about COVID-19, but I don't want to get off on a tangent already. But I just had a conversation with somebody about that, and I'm just like, 2 conversations about that shit today.
True.
Yeah, it is definitely changing life. So, glad all is well with you. So, take people back. Let's take people back to when we met and how. You laughing because you remember what I remember.
Yeah,
How
man.
we met, obviously we were roommates, but what do you remember from some of those days, man? Let's talk about some of those days, and then we're going to get up to, your brand and everything.
All right, cool, man. So first of all, when we met, we actually weren't supposed to be roommates. There's a guy went to high school a few miles down the road from me that was supposed to be my roommate, but I guess at the last minute they switched out, and that's when I met you.
Oh, I remember you telling me
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. So that was pretty dope, man. I mean, you got to see your parents, you got to see my mom's,
Yep.
and they wished us well, and that was it. Then we started acting a fool.
Nah, that was you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yo, man, those days of just being on the yard. Oh my
Yes.
goodness, never coming back to the room.
Oh man. Yes.
Had to wait till 9 o'clock to use the cell phone.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, yo. Damn, we old.
Yeah, we getting there.
Oh my gosh, yo.
We
So
getting there.
So, all right, we went through a lot of stuff when we went to Claflin. This is a fellow Panther as well, ladies and gentlemen. Forgot to mention that. Went through a lot of stuff at Claflin, did a lot of things at Claflin. What was your journey like at Claflin? Because I know we started out in education together,
Yeah.
and then things changed. So tell me about what happened with you and why you decided to pursue another another degree?
Well, initially, I believe both of us got accepted into the Call Me Mr. program.
Yep.
That program was to promote African American males in the school system. Initially, that's kind of what I wanted to do. The truth of the matter is, I didn't even know I was going to be able to go to college because I got in a little trouble when I was younger. Luckily, nothing on my record, but enough to straighten me up, be like, yo, you need to take your butt to college. Um, so, I got the scholarship and everything, and I rolled with it. But I think halfway through, I believe it was our sophomore year, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I was a little scared, man, because I can't remember the professor's name, but she talked about lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers getting sued, and the South Carolina Education Association backing you up, with like $1 million, for a
I
lawsuit. And
remember.
yes, and after that, I was like, I don't think that's really for me. I was like, I don't want to get sued, man. I don't want to go that route. So, I decided I was like, you know what? Let me look at this philosophy and religion. Coming from mainly a religious background, I said, why not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in my intentions or what I thought or what I believed was that I was being called to preach. I don't know, I don't know where that idea came from, but I mean that's where I was at the time. Um, but
I
yeah, I
know where the
mean,
idea came from.
yeah,
You you definitely you weren't a preacher, but you definitely touched a lot of people, man. Like, you remember those prayer circles with your
yeah.
cousin Travis,
Oh yeah,
and
man.
you were the chaplain for our class, and
Yeah,
just people gravitated towards you, man. Like, people wanted to be around you, people wanted to talk with you, and people listened to what you had to say. So
yeah.
it went hand in hand. I'm not surprised.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that, man. I mean, I kind of, I guess where I'm at in my life now, I really am not one to really try to give people advice. I mean, we've had those conversations.
Right.
Um, I just try to talk to people, but more importantly, I try to listen a lot more. Um, but I mean, that was the path I chose. But just being humble and looking back then, I am gracious for that, being able to help people. At least, I believe I was helping some people. But also, I had to help myself. So, I had to take a step back from all that stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy, the religion side of, my degree, but I've been focusing on philosophy a lot lately, especially in my life now.
Right. Okay. Philosophy is definitely important, and we definitely have a lot of conversations about that.
Yeah,
So let's fast forward a bit, because I don't want to talk too much about what we did in school.
me
Because
either.
most of it we can't talk about anyway. If
Hey,
you
that's
know,
true.
if you know us, you know. If like
Oh
Pusha
yeah.
T said, if you know, you know.
Hmm.
So graduation. Now, you graduated on time. I did not. so, so I know that when you graduated, quite a few things happened. So tell me about what happened after you graduated, or tell the listeners. I know, but
Okay. Well, before I graduated, I actually got in a bad car accident with an 18 wheeler.
yeah.
I think it was like 9 days before, so I was a little banged up for graduation, but I still made it. Um, I tried to go home. I was under the impression that having a degree was an automatic in for a job. That, of course, did not work. So I tried the Blue Cross Blue Shield thing, man. I just tried little ins and out jobs, and I ended up moving up to Virginia, to Richmond,
Mm-hmm.
and from there I became funny. We talk about education. I actually went back in as a non-therapeutic counselor to kids up in Virginia that were classified with emotional disturbances. So I did that for like a year and a half. Fast forward to make it a quick story, end up coming back home, couldn't keep a job, talked to my grandfather and my father a little bit, and I was like, the hell with it, man. I'm going to go ahead and, join the military. So that's what I did.
All right. So you did you did something I thought about as well, but I was fat. Because I was at a bit of a
Yeah.
crossroads. I was graduating late, having to pass praxis tests and yada yada yada. But I never did. But I do have um, members. Well, actually, is anyone active anymore? I don't think anyone else in my family is active anymore. But my father, my uncle, and my cousin, we're all military men. So, okay, you went into the military. What was that like for you? Now I know, just to preface this, y'all, and not shooting any bail, he can't talk about any and everything because he's
Yeah,
serious.
yeah. Oh my God, sir, I called that my cousin.
Wait, you hit the sir.
Sir, sir, I have to call that what my cousin called it when he went in the army is they call it a LCE, a life changing event. Sir, it was fun, man. I mean, I had to go to I'm in the Air Force, so we have basic training at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, and let's just say it was a fun plane trip over there. But sir, when that plane landed, it was on. Um, that bus ride was one of the quietest bus rides I ever had in my life. The only way I can explain it is you remember the movie Dead Presidents?
Yeah,
At the end, Lorenz Tate was on that bus going to prison.
yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
look, got my look, man. My grandma said it was so quiet you can hear a mouse pissing on cotton. That's how quiet it was.
I could imagine the
Yeah,
emotions and the feelings because you was
yeah,
still mad young.
yeah,
You
man.
were like what, 23, 24
Yeah,
maybe?
23. Yeah, man. It was
Shh.
uh, it was definitely different, bro. I ain't gonna lie though, I did have fun.
Yeah, that's
You
good.
get challenged, they challenge you physically and obviously mentally, and it's like they break you down and then build you back up to be an airman. Um, so I definitely enjoyed that part of my journey. I mean, initially I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, and there's nothing like being butterball naked in a shower with 60 other dudes. Not my not my ideal cup of tea. But I wasn't the only one in there. We went through, man. So
Yeah.
they that shame and whatever you think you would be embarrassed about, man, all that goes out the window, and you just concentrate on getting out of basics. So it's pretty fun, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So don't know how much you can say. So after basic, I know that you were deployed. I don't remember how many times, but can you
Yeah,
talk a little bit about your experience with that?
yeah, man. So my job is I'm a geospatial analyst or intelligence analyst. So if you think maps, you think everybody sees the movies with the drones and things of that nature. That falls in line with what I kind of do.
Ooh.
Um, so as far as my deployment, I've only deployed once.
Okay.
I've been on a few TDYs, but I went
I'm
to
sorry. What's the TDY?
oh, excuse me, a TDY is a temporary duty location.
Okay.
Excuse me. So it's not necessarily deployment, but you're away from your home station for maybe a considerable amount of time.
Okay.
But as far as the deployment is concerned, I went to Iraq during Operation New Dawn, right after Iraqi freedom. So it was an interesting time. That was around the time that Osama bin Laden was killed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine it was a great time over there.
Yep. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
a story you
yeah,
told me, and I
yeah,
I don't know if I can repeat
yeah. Yeah, let's just say it was a fun time.
it. What
It
are
was
some of
interesting, though. No,
what
go
was it
ahead.
like? Like, what are some of the things that you saw when you were over there?
So, I mean, it kind of opened my eyes, man, to like how big the world really is, man. Like, I got a chance to visit one of Saddam Hussein's palaces, man,
Hmm.
and it was, I mean, literally like a castle, man. It was amazing. We got to feed his fish.
Hmm.
I don't know how the fish survived all of that, but they had some Nigerian guards out there, man. You get you little boxes of cereal, and you go out there and feed the fish, man. And it was pretty cool. But we got an opportunity to get on to climb up the roof or whatever, get on top of the roof of the palace, man, and look across. And our tour guy, he was basically showing us like, hey, man, this was Saddam's daughter's house, and this was his son-in-law. All these palaces, man. It was amazing, and I was blessed to be like right outside of like I could see the city, every day. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was cool, man. I enjoyed
Oh my goodness, man.
it.
So how long were you over there?
So I was over there for 4 months,
Oh man.
120 days. Luckily for me, that was our operations tempo, because I know, God bless them. Some people are out there for 6, 9, 12 months. So I don't want to say really lucky per se, but just the job that I was doing only required me to be there for 4 months.
Right, yeah, because I know a lot of people when they have to go for a long time,
Yes, now
very
I
long time.
almost went for a long time. They tried to actually send me to Afghanistan right after that.
Whew.
Yeah, so I would have been gone for like 8 months, man. But things happened, and I ended up coming home when I was supposed to.
All right, so was it hard to adjust when you? I mean, obviously, I know you must have experienced some things.
Yeah.
Was it hard? What was your adjustment like when you came back home after an experience like that?
Well, so before we actually got back to the United States, we stopped in Germany, and
Okay.
we were on the Air Force base that has like this huge mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the I guess the lobby of the hotel that this mall is in. So we got to go in there, and that was the first time I heard like kids. I didn't realize, I've been gone for so long, I hadn't heard any children crying or laughing.
Wow.
So it was like kind of maybe like a shock, not too crazy, but it kind of threw me off because I've been around adults for like the last, with training included, like 6 months, 4 months in Iraq, and around nothing but adults.
Mm.
Working, we work 7 days a week, 12-hour days. So it was it was definitely it was different. Coming back, I had to sit down. It didn't shock me to the point where it's like, oh my God, I'm crying. But it did kind of shock me. It's like, man, I really haven't heard any children, anything. So, it was cool, man.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it was
That's
all right.
no, that's just surreal to think about, because in everyday life, these are things we're so used to being around, like things like just traffic, airplanes, helicopters
Hmm.
flying over, seeing people of a certain color, things like
Yeah,
pets and stuff like that. It's weird to have that not stripped away, but it's weird to
yeah,
not be around that, and then you kind of get this, start to develop kind of like a new norm almost, and then when you
right,
come back it kind of gives you a different lens.
right. It's a whole new shift, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
And then over there, man, you're working, like I said, 7 days a week.
What?
So you really 7 days a week, man.
Ooh.
No days off, brother. Um, but yeah, man, 7 days a week. I work 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. every day, or every evening, if that makes sense. And it was kind of like you just get in a routine, so you just don't think about anything else. It's just kind of muscle memory at the end of the day.
Ay,
Do your
ay,
job, and then what I would do at night just to kind of keep me sane is I had a calendar. I would just X out the days. That would be my little ritual. At the end of the day, after working out, coming from work, go work out and everything, get back to the room, and then I'll cross my day out and go to sleep.
man, counting the days. So, dang, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I had a good ass question for you. Oh, so, okay, you're back, you're starting to get adjusted. So, how much different is your job? Well, how much different was your job once you got back?
Not really different, man. Um, I did the, you know, as much as I can say. I worked the mission until I got, I guess you can call it a lateral promotion. I worked for the Department of Training in my unit and Department of Weapons and Tactics. So it was a different ball game. I was working. I had a Monday through Friday job,
Okay.
mostly just centered around training. Um, training the intel analysts and just bettering the unit. But I mean, it was cool, man. I mean,
Okay.
either way, when I came back, I was still working 12-hour shifts. Maybe not every day, but nothing too much changed from that, man. But then when I went to the Department of Training, I finally was able to get felt like I had a regular job.
Got you. So, your new norm.
Yeah, man.
So, what, man? I want to ask. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this question. So try
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
answer it as best as you can.
Okay.
I'm trying to ask you questions that I know you can probably answer. Um, So with this experience, what has been, I guess, the hardest part for you to deal with as a person? Because I know, I'm not gonna say a lot of people, but I am gonna say a lot of people. A lot of people
Yeah.
know that members of the military, you all go through a lot.
Hmm.
We hear the stories about PTSD and things of that nature. So, what are
Hmm.
some of the things that you've had to deal with?
From that in that regard.
Yeah.
So, uh, as far as PTSD, so I have not been formally diagnosed.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of scared too, but that's personal. But uh, I know that sometimes I feel a certain way, and I know it's not normal. Like I can talk to some of my other buddies in the military, and we'll talk about some of the things we experienced, and then it's like you just go down that, I don't know, man, you kind of phase out and you just start talking about it like you're right there again.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong, I did have fun in Baghdad, but we also had some I can say some interesting times, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it's still a war zone, so clearly there's folks that want to hurt you. you know
Yeah.
and you gotta basically, with rules of engagement, you have to wait to be engaged before you can take off on
Mm,
somebody. So little things like that, praying that you don't get hit with something, but going back to what you're talking about, what I've learned to kind of do, man, is I have to separate my work from home. And it took me a while to do that. I've been in for 11 years now. And like you said, I was pretty young when we went, when I went in. I think you just have to learn to separate. And then as you get older and you make rank, you start to become a little more mature in that position so you can help other people. So that's what has helped me to kind of get through those moments, because I've seen a lot of things that me and you've had conversations about,
right.
um, and I still see them, when I close my eyes, and it makes me think about my kids. It makes me think about my family, think about you, you know. Uh, but at the end of the day, I know that what I'm doing is is preserving our nation's security.
Yes, and
So,
we definitely appreciate you and thank you for your service, man. Because yeah, I could only imagine, man. I couldn't do it.
oh, you
I
can,
no.
you
I'm
can
good.
do it. I'm
I
gonna be
could
honest, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. I'm just. I could only imagine, man. Like, I mean, I know Hollywood is Hollywood, but when I think of
Yeah.
movies and stuff like that, and even clips that they just show in the news, I'm like, yo, there are people like near that. Like, there are some
Yes.
people 20 feet, 10 feet, hell, 50 feet away from that. Would like, this is real. This is not TV. This is not a movie.
Hmm.
And you're the closest person to me that has been able to share just a little bit, nothing that he's not supposed to share for whoever's listening, with me about some of the things that you experience, and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, man. It can get rough at times, but you know, the way I kind of got through it too, man, is, I mean, you're not by yourself. That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah,
Um, you're not by yourself. So it'd be different if you had to go through it alone, and it can consume you. When I first my first duty station was in Florida, doing a special mission, and I'm gonna be honest, man, they almost consumed me.
hmm
I'm newly married too, and it's like I gotta come home and I can't speak about my job, and I just seen some
yeah.
crazy stuff, and I'm like, man.
I know that must suck because that's like
Yeah,
that's like a staple of conversations when people get home. It's
yeah,
like, how was work and what's going on at work. Like, you
yeah,
can't vent to your best friend and your wife.
yeah,
That's just oof.
yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna pay some bills real quick, and I can't even talk. We're gonna pay some bills real quick, and we'll be right back, and we're gonna talk about muscle over money. We'll be right back, y'all. Don't go anywhere.
I'm sure you've never considered adding a coloring book to your bedroom repertoire, but Love and Lust is the adult coloring book full of sensual imagery, sure to get things heated up. I'm Jessica Van, and I help individuals and couples to enhance their sexual experiences through learning to prioritize their pleasure. I'm a licensed therapist, and I developed this coloring book as a way to eliminate the shame sometimes associated with sex and increase healthy conversations about true intimacy. Love and Lust is accompanied by the Essential Love and Lust Toolbox, which is online and offers therapeutic exercises sure to spice up things in and out of the bedroom. Head over to envisioncounselingllc.com and get your Love and Lust Toolkit today. From My Experience podcast listeners, get 25% off when you use promo code FME. Get your copy of Love and Lust today and add a little color to your sexy.
All right, we bike. So let's talk about. So I'm gonna rewind a little bit. I was about to jump right into muscle over money. So let's talk about your personal fitness. Obviously, with your background in the military, you had to stay in shape. So talk to us about your journey in fitness and kind of what led to you creating your muscle over money brand.
Okay. Well, I mean, you said it. You said it best, man.
Oh,
You have to you have to be in shape
right.
in the military. I remember a funny story before I get into it. It was this guy, man. I'm not even gonna say his name. Oh my God. I'm gonna say his first name. His name was Tommy.
Okay.
Okay. And Tommy was a strong 200 something pounds, man. Had to be at least 230. He ended up getting what they call wash back in basic training. So basic training is conducted in a series of phases, right? You know, week 1, week 2, etc. Well, Mr. Tommy got washed back in week 3, and we never saw him again.
Oh,
So, right as my unit was graduating from basic training, this guy ran over to our unit. We was practicing in formation and getting ready for all the parade and all that stuff for the graduation. And this guy, the skinny dude, ran over to us, and my the equivalent of a drill sergeant in the Air Force is a training instructor, a TI, military training instructor. And he said, "Tommy," it was Tommy. Tommy had lost a strong 50 pounds.
ooh.
So they worked him, man. They got him where he needed to be. But back to what you're talking about. Yeah, man, you have to have a certain level of fitness. You know, we take PT tests every 6 months or every year, depending on your score. You cannot score below a 75, or you will be going to fat camp.
So okay, talk to us. I've always wanted to know this. Can you talk about what that entails and like how you're scored?
Yes. So in the Air Force, you're scored off of your ability to do push-ups, sit-ups, your waist, circumference, and a mile and a half run. So maybe not in that order. If I can go back, you first get your height and weight checked. Then you go in a room, you lift up your shirt, and they measure your waist.
Okay.
And so once your waist measurement starts, your test starts. Waist measurements are also scored, right?
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So once you do that and everybody's measured, then you go to the fitness area and you start doing your push-ups, your sit-ups, and get maybe like a 10-minute break, depending on how long it takes people to finish, and then you go run for a mile and a half. And mind you, all these things are timed. Your push-ups and sit-ups, you have to do a certain amount in 1 minute. And depending on your age, the number is either higher or lower. And then you have your mile and a half run, which you have to have done in a certain amount of time. I believe for men within my age bracket, you can't go over 13 minutes and 30 seconds. I believe that's what it is. But you don't want to be there. You want to pass. So
Gotcha.
yeah. But I mean, it's all different, man. It depends on your age range and if you have any a waiver for certain fitness things, you can bypass the push-ups or bypass sit-ups, etc. But yeah, it's a score. You score out of 100 points, and like I said before, if you have below a 75, again, you're going to fat camp.
Did you ever have to go? You never had to go to fat camp, did you?
Absolutely not, sir.
Okay. I didn't think so.
There'll be none of that fat camp here.
So, what sparked the idea for Muscle Over Money? Obviously, you're into fitness is a part of your life now, part of your
Yep.
job, basically.
Yeah.
So what happened? Was it a bowl of cereal at 2 o'clock in the morning? Talk to us.
So I'll make it quick. I initially started out wanting to be a personal trainer. Wanted to go the online personal trainer route. Um, Honestly, not I'm not in that space to be able to do that. Ethically, I want to be in better shape, to be able to go out and teach other people. It's not to say I'm not in shape, but I'm somewhat of a, I don't want to say perfectionist, but I like things to be right, and I like to be ethical. So I put that on the back burner. But what I was thinking of is I have a business. I have a LLC, Brandon Palmore Fitness, and I was thinking, what can I do with it in the meantime, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I thought about was, clothing, fitness apparel, and I listen to a lot of podcasts in the morning about fitness and starting your own brand, and then this, I don't know, this idea of muscle over money popped up in my head. I was listening to, I believe it may have been Ty Lopez, I think that's his name. Anyway, he posed the question of, if somebody gave you, a vast amount of money, 100 million, $1 billion, right, whatever.
Right.
But the contingency would be that you were to be sick and couldn't get out of bed for the rest of your life. Would you take the money? Me personally, I would not. You know, what's the point of, being a billionaire or even, a millionaire, and you can't enjoy your wealth?
Right.
So that is the premise of muscle over money. And the other part about it is, I wanted to have my own. I see a lot of brands out here that don't cater to people like us.
Right.
But also I see them taking advantage of our spending power. I hear a lot of people, boast about the Black American dollar is, we have the trillions of dollars or $1 trillion spending power, yet we don't keep money in our community but for 6 hours.
Right.
So those things started to get to me, and I said, you know what, I want to do something. I want to not only wear my own clothes, but I want to produce a brand that people feel proud to be able to wear, that know they're not being taken advantage of, that their dollar is valued, and that we're promoting a good thing, which is health before wealth. It's not necessarily health over wealth, because I would love to be healthy and wealthy, right? I think anybody would.
Yeah.
So I say health before wealth. You know,
Yeah.
as long as you're able-bodied, man, you can get out there and make money. You can do what you need to do. But the moment you get sick, you know, things can change drastically for you.
I agree 1,000%. Much like you, I heard Styles P, one of my favorite rappers, talking
Hmm.
about who's heavy in the health
Right.
now with juice bars and stuff like that. He was talking about how his attitude was, his mood was, and stuff like that. And he was like, bro, he was like, once my health changed, he was like, I looked at everything differently. He was like, it just
Yes.
changed my entire attitude and everything.
Hmm.
He was like, he said you could give an out of shape dude 10,000 or $1 million and he'll be miserable because he's out of shape, he's not enjoying it, he's in a bad
Hmm.
mood, got a nasty attitude, he's just not right inside. He said you can give a
Right.
healthy man $1,000 or $10 and he'll be the happiest person in the world because he has his health. And it makes a hell of a difference, y'all. Like I've been very unhealthy in my life. I was almost 300 pounds at one point. I was north of two. I think I was about 270 or something. And the only way I realized it was I went to the doctor for something, and I got on the scale, and I was like, "What?" Like that shit paused my life. I'd never been that big in my life ever, and I was like, "Whoa." And I had to stop, and I was like, well, what am I doing? And I looked at, well, I wasn't working out, number one. Stress from work, number two. Number three, I was eating like crap. I probably only cooked maybe 6 times a month. Maybe. I was eating out all the freaking time, eating late, supersized, let me get the soda, all this stuff. And once I started taking my health more serious, I noticed a change in my mentality, my confidence, the way I felt, the way I attacked the day, the way I attacked my job. Everything just changed for the better. And I was like, oh, I need to keep this up. And I pretty much have. Like, COVID messed me up a little bit. But I'm back on it now because I could see it and I could feel it. I was like, we're not going back up there. Nope, 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 nope. We're gonna
Right.
stay in that comfort zone. So I
Yeah, man.
definitely feel you on that. And that's a very I love the fact that your origin story is as meaningful as it is. You know, it's not a money grab for you, which some people do it for the money. Hey, I ain't gonna knock you if you do it for the money, but I just feel
Right.
like when there's a business or a brand that has a noble cause behind it, that just makes it that much more important to the community.
Right.
So you and I have had behind the scenes conversations. I copped a hat. You gonna be buying more because I seen some exclusive designs. So talk about the phase that you're in now and kind of some of the things you want to continue to do.
Right. So number one, this is like my first attempt at a business. So I'm learning as I go along. Right now with the coronavirus, my drop shipper and my manufacturer are kind of getting hit hard. So of course I'm being hit hard as well. But right now I'm kind of phasing in. Right now I got snapbacks uh,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm selling, but my plan is to essentially kind of, if you will, trickle out my products. I'm doing female leggings, sports bras. I'll be doing shorts, swimsuits, etc. Man, anything I get my hands on that essentially can be athleisure, where meaning you can wear it in the gym, you can wear it in the streets. That's what I'm going after. But right now, I'm just in the process of designing all of the articles of clothing until this COVID thing passes over, man, and I can start dropping more products.
So, do you have a specific audience? Talk to me about the people that you are targeting.
Okay, so when I first, I guess, started this journey, initially it was any and everybody, right? I wanted to cater to everyone, which is impossible. So after doing some soul searching and considering the climate that we're in, I kind of started thinking about it. Like, I don't see anybody really talking about fitness or promoting health. I see a lot of black folks and other people of color have been suffering a lot more from COVID-19 due to pre-existing conditions, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, et cetera, right?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to focus on now is those people. That is my target. I want to promote health within our communities of color. I think it's imperative, not just, it's not just my dream is to see all of us looking like gods and goddesses, right?
Right.
But my dream is that we can pick ourselves up and uh, develop a stronger philosophy of being healthy, so that God forbid when these types of viruses or pandemics that we are going to be going to be dealing with in the future, right?
Right.
That we can be better equipped from the inside out.
Yes. That's very important. Your health
Yes.
plays a I mean, if y'all haven't learned by now how important your health is with COVID-19, I don't know what the hell else to tell you. Honestly, like this should have shown you that I need to get it together. Like most of us have had more time than we could have ever dreamed of to really stop and think about this and get it together. Because I can't tell you, it looks like a parade when I go to the store. Like when I go drive somewhere, because I
Hmm.
do everything early in the morning, it's people on both sides of the streets walking up and down, dogs, kids,
Hmm.
bikes, all that stuff. And I love to see it. I love to see people getting out and getting healthy. And you're correct, and I love the fact that you're targeting those specific people because those of you listening who don't know, when you are unhealthy like that and you have some of these diseases, or you have the potential of getting some of these diseases, getting yourself healthy by changing your diet, by exercising, and things of that nature, you can reverse some of this stuff. You can stop it. When you're
Hmm.
not doing those things, you're helping it continue to grow and manifest and take over. You can stop some of this stuff. Your body is built to fight. It's a fighter. It's fighting all the time. You have everything you need within you, But it's like, are you gonna help those systems along by doing what you're supposed to do, or are you gonna continue to damage those systems and make them work twice as hard?
Right.
So I can't. So all right. So your and we don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, but I
Yeah,
want you.
let's do.
I want you to talk more about your program your program that you
Oh God.
your program.
Okay, so when I first started the Brandon Palmore Fitness LLC, my goal was to provide online personal training. Before I got to that point, I think it was maybe 5 years back, man, I had developed a workout plan, a conditioning plan for myself,
Mm-hmm.
to keep me in shape for the physical training tests that I had to take every 6 months or every year, right, depending on my score.
Right.
So I had been doing that same routine over and over and over again, and it worked. And I guess, I never thought about it. I mean, I was kind of in my own world. I was like, why don't I just share it?
Right.
So I initially pushed for the personal training route. I let a few people try. I had an app and everything, man. I still have it, but I got to go back and rebrand uh, that part of my business. But I mean, I had people doing it, man, and it works. One of our line brothers did it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He lost 20 pounds. Of course, that wasn't just with him following my plan. He was eating healthy, drinking his water, making sure that he was getting enough sleep. So it's not just the working out part of it, man. It's the diet. It's what you consume that helps to fuel your body through workouts like that. So yeah, I mean, I still have the program itself. I think I'm gonna, do some revamping.
Yes.
And funny that you mentioned that. I'll be quick about it. I'm actually looking at rebranding and promoting other people's fitness programs and uh, Instagrams, etc. Right? Just putting people out there for free.
Right.
Just promoting fitness among people of color. If you're doing something for people of color to help promote and to lower blood pressure and lower, cholesterol and to attempt to, to reverse diabetes and things like that, I want to highlight you so that people can see you in any way I can. And that I want to do for free.
And y'all be able to contact him on Instagram. It will be in the description. Muscle Over Money on Instagram. So if you're listening, here's an opportunity. You got to take, now's the time for action. I was just talking about this on my solo episode I did, episode 150. I've been telling people, you're one of the people that inspired that, conversation I was having with myself to the people. Now's the time, man. This is like the world literally has stopped. It's about to stop again. Yeah, I've talked to a couple people across the country in different places, and they're about to go back into lockdown because these COVID cases are spiking. So it's like, what are you doing with this time? This we'll probably never see anything like this again, probably. So it's like, what have you done differently? This is that idea that's in the back of your mind, or whatever it is you've been working on, tinkering with. I think now's the time, and what you're doing is very noble, and I appreciate that, man. People always think that giving back has to be monetary. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be monetary all the time. You can give back in a lot of different ways, and can't wait to buy some more gear from you, bro.
I appreciate that, man. Oh, I must caveat with my Muscle Over Money Instagram. It is quite bare.
Yeah.
I went through it. I went through it.
Not bear.
Oh, it's quite bare.
Yes.
I went through like I said, the whole rebranding thing.
Yeah.
I rebranded everything, so I'm gonna start posting in there. But if people want to contact me, I mean, hit me up in the DMs. I will respond. But yeah, it's pretty bare, man. I got a lot of work to do, a lot of content to create. So, and maybe I'll help. Need your help with that.
Oh yeah, you already know, man.
Yeah,
So,
man.
all right, LB, it's been great talking with you. I got one last question for you,
Okay.
and I ask this of everyone that I have on the show. So, for anyone thinking about, so this is gonna be twofold for you. So,
Okay.
your words of wisdom for any young man, young woman looking to either join the military, any branch of the military, or start their own business, or do both, kind of like what you did, what words
Hmm.
of wisdom do you have for them?
Okay, can I go backwards? Can I start the business part first?
Absolutely.
I would say this: don't don't think too much about what it is that you want to do. um, start moving and acting on it. I use an app called Mindly, Mindly. It's a brainstorming app, a mind mapping app that I use to get my ideas out. Don't just think about it. Start moving on those things. Um, I have no experience in business, right? But with the job that I currently do in the military and just the things that have been instilled in me and values that the military has given me, it's propelled me to where I am right now. And I'm still working just like everybody else. So that's what I would say is stop thinking so hard. And that was a problem I had.
Same.
Yeah. Stop thinking so hard. Put your ideas out there, write them down or put them in your phone, and then just go. And you'd be surprised where you'll end up. I mean, I know that may seem cliche to some people, but to me, it took my wife, it took Robert, it took my commander, it took people saying, "You think too much, man. Just do it." And so here we are. As far as the military, I would say this in all transparency. A lot of people when they're asked, "Why do you want to join the military?" They say, "Oh, I want to serve my country, and I want to." No, no. The truth of the matter is, you may be in a place where what, this is my last chance to get it, or I need this job, or I need this money right now, or I really want to just travel. There's several reasons why people want to join the military. Um, I'm a strong believer that once you touch down at basic training, wherever that be, whether you go the Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy route, I
Hmm.
can guarantee you by the time you finish basic training, your desire to want to serve your country will be dual purposed with what you initially signed up for. So I would tell people the best, I would say, somewhat of a suggestion I could give is go in knowing why you're going in, if that makes sense. If
Yes.
it is to travel, if it is I want my school paid for, because you
Yeah.
could get your school paid for through tuition assistance program through the government, right? If it is that, if it is I just want to get out of my hometown, if it's I'm broke, whatever it is, just be true to yourself and be transparent with yourself about why you're doing it. Because I guarantee you, you'll probably still feel that way, but you're definitely you're gonna be a different person when you come out the other side of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Thank you once again, LB, for joining us. This will not be the last time you're on because I know that you're going to be successful and we're going to continue to talk about muscle over money and your journey through life. So I look forward to that day. Hopefully, it's not when we're old and gray. Hopefully, it's soon.
Yeah, thanks, man.
No problem. I want to also thank all of our listeners. Thank you guys for tuning in and supporting the show. Y'all already know where you can find us: Instagram, FME underscore podcast. If you want to holler at us, FME podcast 1 at gmail.com. Don't forget to join the Facebook group From My Experience Podcast. We love y'all once again. Hope you're being safe. Hope you're taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and financially. And we will catch y'all next time. Peace.